Antalya. I had no idea it was this beautiful here.
Oh wow, this is totally crazy. This is the biggest Turkish breakfast that I've ever seen.
So we finally made it up that enormous mountain, and this is the sight we're seeing. It's our third visit to Turkey, and so far I think that this one has been our very best, and a lot of that has to do with being right here in the city of Antalya.
So we're always on the lookout for cities with that magic combination. We want a little history, natural beauty,
Delicious food.
definitely delicious food, and interesting culture.
Well, Antalya has all of that, and it just happens to be one of those low-cost destinations that we love.
We originally came here mainly just to chase the sun. We were looking for somewhere sunny and warm.
Well, relatively sunny and
Well,
warm.
warmish to spend the month of February.
We were a little worried when we first arrived because the weather was looking a little iffy.
But we've actually had lots of beautiful sunny days since then, although this isn't one of them.
So it's definitely not t-shirt weather today. In fact, we're just hoping that the rain holds up long enough for us to finish this video.
So after an amazing month of enjoying Antalya, eating, drinking, exploring, our time here has come to an end. And of course, this means it's time once again to do one of our cost of living videos. How much did we spend and what did we get for it?
And if you've been following our videos, you'll know that we'll finally be answering the big question, how much did we spend on our gorgeous Airbnb?
But before we get into all the details, a big hello and merhaba from Antalya to all you know.
Merhaba.
If it's your first time here, I'm Gillian and this is Stephanie.
We're traveling the world full time and trying to bring a little more adventure into your life.
Let's kick things off with entertainment. Antalya is a good-sized city, so there was lots to keep us busy during the month without spending a cent. Of course, we had to check out Hadrian's Gate right here behind me. This is Antalya's most iconic historic site. We really enjoyed wandering through the old town. It's got lots of little streets that you can get lost in. The area has quite a bit of character. Some of the buildings have been restored to their former glory, but some of them are falling down and basically seem abandoned.
And we really enjoyed walking through all the parks that are dotted along the waterfront. Actually, most of Antalya is up on top of cliffs, and then with the mountains in the background, it really is a spectacular view. Antalya. I had no idea it was this beautiful here. We checked out Konyaaltı Beach, which is on the west end of Antalya. We made our way down to the marina, which is a little touristy, but still very atmospheric. We also made our way to the east end of Antalya to check out Duden Falls. Of course, I can't resist a good museum, and we had enough rainy days that I could fit in a visit to the Antalya Archaeological Museum, which is well worth the trip if you're a fan of Roman statues.
After taking in the sights of the city, for us it was the rest of the region that was really exciting. All the natural beauty and so many ancient ruins. We ended up renting a car a few times over the month, and we drove out to a little village that's famous for serving up huge Turkish breakfasts.
Oh wow, this is totally crazy. This is the biggest Turkish breakfast that I've ever seen.
After that, we worked off the calories with a hike in Göynük Canyon, just a half-hour drive from Antalya. Of course, the region is just filled with spectacular ancient ruins. We checked out Phaselis and Olympus and spent a beautiful morning at Termessus. I'm totally guessing on the pronunciation.
So we're having a very fun expedition this morning. We're going to the site of an ancient city called Termessus, and this city is famous for one thing in particular. So it's one of the few places that Alexander the Great did not conquer, because when he got here, he discovered it's on top of a really huge hill. And that's a hill we're trying to go up right now. So we finally made it up that enormous mountain, and this is the sight we're seeing. So this is a huge, incredible amphitheater just sitting here plonked on the top of a mountain. It's incredible.
And we were joined by our friends, the Geek Streamers, who have an awesome blog that you can check out.
So if you've been following our channel, you'll know that one of the reasons we were excited to come back to Turkey was for the food. And the food in Antalya is incredible, not just for the quality, but also the price.
Merhaba. Teşekkürler. This is the simit I buy every day for breakfast. I get it from this stand just outside our place, and it costs just 25 cents each.
So I'm tucking into a little plate of midye dolma, or stuffed mussels. So these mussels were stuffed with a spiced rice, and then they were all cooked up. So you have to pop it open to get to the treat inside and give it a good dose of lemon. And then just as gracefully as you can, just kind of like pop the whole thing in your mouth. Really delicious. So this whole tray of mussels, that's 10 little mussels here, costs just over $1 US. Thank you. So I just picked up this delicious, freshly pressed pomegranate juice. These kind of stands are just all over the city here in Antalya. It's absolutely refreshing on a day like today, and it costs only $1.30 USD. Ooh, so good. A little tart, a little sweet, really delicious.
Oh, nice.
Today I'm having an Antalya specialty. It is piyaz, which is a bean dish in a savory tahini sauce. Get some of those white beans in there, a little egg and tomato. That is tangy and delicious, and it only costs $1.80.
So I'm having something that I would never normally think of ordering, but here in Turkey it is a really popular dish. So it is a liver kebab, so it's grilled chicken liver, and it's served with grilled peppers, a little grilled onion, some bread, more bread, and even this little salad. And all of this together costs just $2.40 USD. Ooh, thank you. So we've come to a slightly fancier restaurant for this meal. We're having a dish called Ali Nazik, and it is lamb with a sauce of yogurt and roasted eggplant. So it should be smoky and delicious. And of course there's a little bit of bread around it. And then the rest of the meal is made up of freshly baked bread right out of the oven. We have a salad, we have a little spiced yogurt dish, some tomatoes and a little onion in there. And this whole thing all together costs $4.50 US.
And for dessert, we're having kunafe, which is my favorite. So this is made of kadayif, which is like a shredded wheat, cooked in the oven with cheese and soaked in syrup. And it came with all these lovely little sides, and we'll enjoy it with some tea. Totally worth it for just $2 US. So delicious.
Now usually in this part of the video, we usually say something like, well, of course we couldn't eat out every meal of the day. We had to do some cooking at home. But actually here in Antalya, we really could eat out almost every meal of the day because the food was just so inexpensive.
For groceries, we kept things pretty simple. You saw me doing a stock up at the Migros when we first got here, but mostly we'd just pick things up around our neighborhood whenever we needed them.
Well, you already saw the stand where we got our fresh simit every morning. And this is the place where I'd pick up some meat for dinner or even a roasted chicken. They're only $3 US, which is an incredible price. We'd pick up our fruits and veggies at little stands like this. And for coffee, one of our most important essentials, we found great beans at this little shop right here.
Everything we've talked about so far, entertainment, food, it was all very reasonably priced. But our Airbnb, well, it hit our budget pretty hard. As you guys know, we had one big issue when we first started considering Antalya. We wanted to stay in a really comfortable and stylish Airbnb like we always do, but we just couldn't find one at a reasonable price.
Normally in a low-cost destination, we find that if you pay a little bit extra, you get something really nice. But here in Antalya, we found that we had to pay a lot extra. In fact, it was costing so much extra that we actually considered shortening our stay and just turning our trip into kind of like a road trip down the coast. But instead, we decided to stay for a month, and we were both really glad that we did. So this is our apartment building right here. Let's go inside and take a look. And if you're wondering what we really think about this lobby, you can check out our full unabridged tour in our first day in Antalya video. So normally the elevator to our glamorous, expensive apartment does work, but today it's not working. So we're climbing up 8 flights of stairs. Let's go. All right, let's talk about this apartment. We really love this living room. I mean, I think that a big, comfortable couch is kind of the secret to a good Airbnb stay, and these ones were amazing. We also love this fireplace. So we had quite a few cold, rainy nights here in Antalya, and it was really nice to get a fire going. The kitchen was quite decent. It's pretty small, but it has everything we need, almost everything. It doesn't have a microwave, and I like to think of myself as a person who doesn't need a microwave, but apparently reheating my coffee in the morning is something that's very important to me. And if you go down the balcony and you look way in the distance, you can even see the Mediterranean. Pretty nice, huh? Now the bedroom is another really comfortable room. We really liked it. And this place also has a second bedroom that we didn't need and is probably the reason it's on the pricey side.
So Airbnb aside, Antalya really is a low-cost destination, but it's also so much more than that. This is a really livable city. It has a great lifestyle with so much of what we're looking for: access to nature, welcoming local culture, great food, but of course this video is also about the cost. So let's see what our month in Antalya added up to.
So our entertainment came in at just $22, and this covered entrance fees to multiple sites plus 1 museum entrance. Our transportation was $85 USD, and that covered renting a car multiple times plus taking a few cabs here and there. Our dining out, so this is our favorite category. This one came in at an unbelievably low $300, and that covered dining out once, definitely, if not twice, every single day. I mean, we haven't paid this little for dining out since the last time we were in Turkey. Our groceries cost just $220, another incredibly low spend. And our Airbnb, so this is the one you've been waiting for. This one came in at a whopping $2,000, which is really steep when you compare it to local prices. So the total amount that we spent for a full month here in Antalya was $2,600. So it's more than you might expect for a low-cost destination, but still a very reasonable price when you look at all the value that we got. Of course, as soon as we arrived here, we could tell right away that Antalya had a whole lot to offer. So this is a city that makes a really great first impression. So if you want to come along as we discover Antalya for the very first time, you can just click on the next video right here.